welcome to our search for Busta. We've just arrived on Shetland, it's June 2022, and we're really hoping that we're going to see one specific orca whilst we're here, which is Busta. As you can see, this is his dorsal fin. So we don't know how this trip is going to pan out and whether or not we're going to see him or not. We really hope we are, but this could be a bit of a longer project like the John Cohen Aquarius film, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
So Busta's a member of the 65s pod. It used to be the 64s as well, but then they separated off into the 64s and 65s. So as you can see, he's an absolutely huge bull of the pod, and
Nick's measuring up to him. He is huge.
That's how tall he is compared to me. Yeah, so we really hope we get to see him on this trip.
So the 65 spend a lot of their time around Shetland, mainland Scotland and Orkney, but most recently they have actually been seen on the west coast of Scotland as well, which is pretty cool. Miles away from where we are now.
They tend to show up where we're not as well. Every time we're on the west, there's no sign of them. Every time we're on Orkney, there's no sign of them. When we're on Shetland, there's no sign of them. So they were actually on Shetland about 2 weeks ago. So it looks like we've just missed them on this trip again, but we just really hope they show up. Yeah. He seems to show up for a couple of days and then they sort of disappear off the radar, and it could be anywhere between another few weeks or even a few months before they're seen. Yeah,
we just hope we're really lucky enough to see him on this trip. If not, we're just going to keep persisting until we eventually find him.
Yeah, we're making it a mission like it was with John Cohen Aquarius, so we think it's probably just as hard as finding them.
If not harder.
So in our eyes, Busta's probably up there on the same sort of tier as John Cohen Aquarius. Yeah. Someone that we really want to see. Yeah. And it's, again, going to be such a hard task because you're looking for one individual that could literally be anywhere.
Absolutely anywhere.
We feel it's going to be a big project like that one was. Well, that one only took 6 days the first time. But,
yeah, it was an ongoing project though, and I think this one is as well. It's just very difficult because he could, like we said, turn up anywhere, and he doesn't hang around for that long either, so yeah, I think it's going to be a bit of potluck as to when we actually get to see him.
Something we don't have a lot of as well. There's a pod, as you'll know, the 27s pod, that's really famous over here, but as an individual, he's one of, like, he's up there with John Cohen Aquarius, sort of that tier of being famous.
Yeah, he is.
Maybe not as much, but
but he's just so big and impressive that he is like one of the individuals that a lot of people want to see. And even like we just seen in Sunborough Head Museum, he's like really popular and his picture is in a lot of places as well, so he's very well known. Yeah, he'd be really cool to see.
Imagine he's so huge as well. He's probably, his fin looks even bigger than John Cohen Aquarius.
Yeah, he looks massive. Yeah. We really hope one day we get to find him.
Definitely.
So we're absolutely exhausted this morning because last night we drove an hour because we saw there was a report of a pod of orca seen off the west. We saw a picture and it looked like it was the 65s in Busta.
It was quite a grainy picture, but you could tell that it was Busta just with the shape of the fin.
Yeah.
So we thought, we was an hour away at the time, and we thought, it's Busta, we've got to go.
Got to do it.
We drove an hour all the way over to the west, and then we kind of missed him with one wrong turn. If we'd have gone to the place we debated, we would have seen him while it was still light.
Yeah, but that was the problem. We ended up losing the light because it was really late by the time we actually got there. And yeah, we got like the most grainy, far away picture and horrendous video.
My picture's like probably the worst picture of an orca that exists in the whole of the world. I couldn't even see it. Charlotte said she saw them surface about 3 times. I didn't see them, but I was just trying to hit and hope with the camera, but there just wasn't enough light, so it is literally the world's worst picture of an orca.
It was just so disappointing. They only surfaced a few times and then they just disappeared. So they must have just gone under and cut straight across or gone back. Who knows? We don't know. But it was really dark, so we didn't really get a chance to catch up with them again.
We're out looking for them today. We've just, in the hope that he's carried on going north, we've come to Busta. We've just had a ride up to Mucklerow. Yeah. Just to see if there's anything about. There's no sign yet, but he could literally be anywhere now, so.
He could be anywhere.
It was so frustrating being so close, but yet so far away.
Yeah.
So he still evades us.
He does. One day. We're currently at West Bow, which is a lovely beach in Shetland. So we thought we'd take this opportunity to tell you a bit more about Busta and the 65s pod. So originally the 64s and the 65s used to be one big pod, but then they split off in about 2018 and they're known as the 64s, which is about 4 members, and the 65s, there's about 6 members, and that includes Busta.
Quite recently they've only been seen the 5 of them. I think the last time they were seen as a 6 was maybe 2020. So yeah. I mean, it's been a couple of years since they've been seen as a 6, but yeah, they are fairly often seen as the 5.
Yeah, definitely. So the 64s were actually our very first orcas that we ever saw.
That was at Duncan's Behead at John O'Groats.
Yeah.
We were on a ferry over to Orkney, and yeah, we managed to spot the 64s pod. Amazing.
There was 4 of them there at the time, and then later on that year they were actually seen off Shetland together with the 27s, which is a pod that we've seen really regularly here over on Shetland. Oh, we've got a helicopter. So we just got cut off by a helicopter. So the 27s pod are a pod that we've seen here quite regularly in Shetland, particularly on this trip whilst we've been in Shetland. So that's amazing that the 64s do combine with them sometimes as well. But the 64s have also been seen with Bull 18, which again is another orca.
Another orca that we've seen on this trip and our trip here last year.
Yeah, it's really cool.
When we saw the 64s, we specifically went up to John O'Groats searching for orca. And back then we didn't really know how easy or how hard it would be. And we only had 4 days to find orca, and it was on our last morning that we managed to see them. So I think looking now, we were really lucky to see them in 4 days.
Yeah.
When we've been looking for Busta for so long, and all we've had so far is like a tiny glimpse at Westerwick on this trip. So.
Yeah. So the 65s, 64s and the 27s are all part of a community known as the Northern Isles community, and they're often seen around Shetland, Orkney and mainland Scotland.
Yeah, so back in 2020 the 64s and 65s did have a temporary reunion, and they were seen around Shetland together again, and then I think when they were seen again they were separate.
Yeah.
But reasons for them splitting up could be either the pod's too big when they're off hunting and there's not enough prey for them, and also it could be from the matriarch dying.
Yeah, so it's been a long time since, at the time it was 66 was the matriarch of the big pod where they were all together, but she hasn't been seen for a while, so maybe that was the cause of the split.
And the 64s have actually gone round with the 27s pod before as well. When the 27s lost their calf 151 when it tragically died on Orkney from fishing entanglement, the 27s pod was seen with the 64s pod, and they were going round as a pod of 12 for around a month. Yeah. People didn't really know if they were going to be a new sort of big super pod or if they would break off again, but as it happens they have broke off again.
Eventually they did.
The 64s have been off mainland Scotland quite a lot this year, and the 27s have been all over Orkney, Shetland and mainland, so
they've been all over.
On the west as well.
Yeah, they've been everywhere.
Yeah.
So once you learn a bit more about all these pods that are often seen around Scotland and Shetland and Orkney, it's amazing how much they're connected. You don't realise that before you start looking into it, and it's really interesting.
So it's been almost 3 years now since we saw the 64s pod, and it's just crazy to think that they're connected to Busta and the 65s, who we got a glimpse of recently, and they've hung around with the 27s before. They've had Bull 18 with them. It's just so crazy to think all these different encounters we've had over the years, they're just all connected to each other.
Yeah, and they've all mingled with each other.
We've seen it before in previous trips as well, with the 169s before. They were with Trinky and Ulfa when we saw them this year at Fraserburgh. They've also mingled with Moose's pod, which is the 19s pod. So we saw them on Shetland last year, and then we saw Trinky this year along with Ulfa and the 169. There's a lot of numbers and a lot of names, so you probably haven't got a clue what I'm on about. But
it's just so cool though.
It is all connected.
Yeah, definitely. It's just nice you can see the same individuals and sort of get to know their behaviour, and you see them in lots of different locations, which makes it really cool. So we really hope we get another glimpse of Busta on this trip.
Hope we get a bit more of a glimpse this time after that last encounter.
I know, yeah, a bit more of a glimpse. Yeah, we've only got about a week left, so we're not holding our breath, but when we head over to the mainland, we've still got a chance, so fingers crossed we get to see them again on this trip. So we're back on Shetland and it's November. It's been a couple of months since we were last here in June, July and August.
And guess who showed up on Orkney yesterday and today? Busta. So yeah, continues everywhere where we are, he's not.
I know, we're hoping that he makes his way north eventually and comes to visit us.
Hopefully. I don't think he's been seen since the last time we were here.
Yeah.
So yeah, a few months ago, and it was when we just missed him.
Yeah, we just missed him off Westerwick.
Yeah, well, I got that shocking picture.
You know, the worst video ever.
But yeah, he's showed up again, just not where we are.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed on this trip we might get to find him.
I hope so.
So we're at the end of another Shetland trip. This time it's the end of our winter trip of 2022. Yeah. And unfortunately we've not seen Busta again.
No. Another year has gone past.
Yeah.
And
well,
still
we kind of saw him in the summer, but as you know, it was just that really brief, dark encounter.
Yeah.
So hopefully next year we'll accomplish our mission of finally finding Busta.
Yes, we will. So it's April 2023. We're currently on the Isle of Skye, which is on the west of Scotland, trying to see John Cone Aquarius. And on the east of Scotland, Busta and the 65s have turned up. So the other side of Scotland. So again, he has avoided us, which is just really frustrating.
So it's the end of April 23 and we've seen the 27s pod. The most annoying thing is the 27s were going around with Busta and the 65s like a couple of weeks before we've just seen them.
Yeah.
We were over on the west on the Isle of Skye and we were seeing John Cone Aquarius, which was incredible. But Busta was going around with the 27s all this time. We come over onto the east, we see the 27s, but yeah, they're not with Busta.
Busta's
so
disappeared.
He evades us yet again. It wouldn't surprise us. We're on the ferry now back from Orkney to the mainland. Wouldn't surprise us if Busta turns up on here. He always evades us, so we're still after that Busta sighting. So
I hope we will have some luck one day. We were really hopeful we were going to see him on Orkney. But hopefully we'll see him on the mainland.
Yeah, he turns up on Orkney a lot, so just didn't have luck this time. But we're really happy we saw the 27s though, regardless.
It's really good. So it's October 2023.
As you can tell by the weather.
It is dreadful weather. We're on Shetland and we've got Busta!
Finally, we finally accomplished it.
Yay!
We can't believe it though. I mean, the last trip, we ended up going early from our trip. And like the next day or 2 days, he's turned up on Shetland 3 days in a row. At really accessible places, perfect weather. What was it? We missed him yesterday by a matter of minutes probably.
But again, the weather was against us, as it is today.
The worst conditions we've ever seen Orca in, but we're so happy that we've got him.
Yeah, so pleased. He's out there in front of us, but like we say, the conditions are dreadful, so footage is not very good at all. We're just getting drenched, as we always do when we come to Grammaster as well.
But yeah, today, 2023, October, we finally got him. Mission accomplished.
Woo!
Hardly been able to record anything, so I'm absolutely drenched. This is just typical for seeing Busta. Every time we're near seeing him or get a glimpse of him, it's total darkness or it is absolutely raining it down. like it is now. But we've seen him, so we're happy. We could be a bit happier though. They're right there.
Up now. Scan along.
Hey, we're up.
It came up now. Scan along.
Got them. So since our encounter earlier, we've been sat in the rain, in the cold, soaked, and for probably about 3 hours or something.
This is my view.
Coming towards the end of the day, we've got such a nice sunset. That's very deceiving because it's looked nothing like that all afternoon.
No,
we've
this
been
is the last 10 minutes.
we've been sheltered behind the rocks, just absolutely freezing, but just hoping that Busta and the 65s would come past us again.
Yeah.
He hasn't yet. We're still probably going to give it till it's dark, but
Yes.
hopefully in the coming days we're able to see them again and maybe get some more footage. But if not, then we're just really happy that we saw him.
Yeah,
and we finally got a little bit of kind of sunshine behind us.
Hopefully we get a bit of sunshine over the next couple of days, but typically he probably won't show up because
Probably
the weather's
not.
nice. So. So we're back at the location where we came to yesterday after we saw Busta further along the coast, and it's such like
What a
is this
difference a
weather?
day makes.
Yeah, what a difference.
It's so typical that like the day after we saw him, after what we went through yesterday, that this is what it is today. It's perfect conditions.
Flat calm.
You find that more often than not they turn up on these days where it's gales and heavy rain and
Yeah.
everything else, and on these days nothing gets seen.
No, but maybe it's because these days are quite rare on
Yeah,
Shetland, so there's
definitely.
more likely going to have gales. So yeah, I mean, if we happen to see Busta and the 65s again, then we'll continue this video, but if not, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time.
In a bit.
Bye.